Hey there, welcome everybody. Let's transform AAT02 King of Cavaliers. This is the normal version, should be the exact same for the new metallic version. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Compress those, fold up his hands, just to get that out of the way. Bring his thumb back, there we go. Thumb back. Alright, and I'm sure we'll have to adjust those a million times. Alright, we'll bring these down. Flip up the seats for the packs if you want. I'm going to leave it down for this, because I'm going to go to truck mode, and then we're going to go back to robot mode. I'm not trying to give myself extra work. Rotate these arms around now as well. Alright, and we can get to it. So, flip out these exhaust pieces on both sides. Then on this double joint, rotate the whole arm back until it clicks into that detent. Just like that. Alright, go ahead and close up those arms for the moment. Again, we'll have to adjust those a lot. Alright, we're going to bring up these shoulder pieces on those double hinges. We're going to bring these out, and we're going to untab the head. It's got two ports and posts going into the front here, and then it's got two tabs and slots going straight down. So you want to do a combination of backwards and up. And it can be stiff, but there we go. So two ports, or posts, the ports are in the back of this, and then there's your slots for those tabs. And then just go ahead and bring that all down. Might want to bring those back to try and get them out of the way. They're going to constantly hit. Try and give yourself as much room to work as you can here. Go ahead and move those just for the moment and untab these. All right, and bring your arms out so that these can fold. These hinges, go ahead and rotate them around. Multiple hinges, multiple axes to work with. There we go. Do the same on the other side. There we go. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, we're gonna split. Aha, before we split. I practiced for this, I swear. Okay, pull up the front. So I didn't expect to pull it up that far. I just wanted to untab it. But it's got a tab here, and there would be one here, but it broke off a while ago, that go directly into here. And then you've got this post and this hook piece. The hook piece goes right in here. The post sits right in here. Once you get that up, you want to actually lift the whole cab up. These two pieces here, they've got tabs that go into slots on the waist rotate. So you can use a spudger, you can just lift it up. There we go. See, this piece right here goes right down into there. We'll show you that again when we go to truck mode. So we're going to go back and forth in this video. All right, so now bring out your two truck sides. There should just slide apart. There's nothing locking it. There it is. Okay, it just wanted to be stiff. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and unpack this real quick before we go further. So you just unfold all that. This should be sitting loose. Now go ahead and bring this out. Untab all about trying to get room to work. So you want to untab this front piece from each of those blue pieces, or I should say the blue pieces from the front piece. Yeah, there you go. Because you've got that, and then you've got a port here for this tab. There's your slot right up here in the corner for this tab on both sides. So a couple things locking it. Get all that out of the way, kind of. It's still in your way. It's going to be in your way. All right, so this is a slider. We're going to slide the chest piece up so that gold ends up in the center there. Or chest piece down. I know what I meant. And here, doing this on my lap's a lot easier than in front of a camera. This dash, slide it down. So let's get that first, so that's kind of out of our way. That's a phrase I probably shouldn't be using in this video, because nothing's truly out of your way. All right, and now go ahead and stay out of the way. Slide the chest so that gold piece ends up in the center of the chest. All right, so there we go. Heard that final click, and it rotates freely. That's what you want. Now you're going to rotate it all past the dashboard. I swear I have the dashboard all the way down, and it still feels like it wants to collide. Just get it on past. Then once you have it around like this, go ahead and slide the chest piece back in the other direction. Oops, wrong way. There we go. I think it was hitting the windshield. There, got it. Okay. So the chest is where we want it. Looks like it's all the way up, right? Yeah, that's all the way up. Go ahead and slide the dashboard down. So you've got way down in here, you have a tab. Let me see if there we go. Right there, you can barely see it. And then you've got a slot in the dash. So the dash is going to go down on that rail and tab into that tab. And definitely push the dash on both sides. I've tried pushing it only in the middle. Doesn't seem like it wants to work. If anything, it actually feels like it might break. So there we go. And unfortunately, it's not really optional, the dash, because if you leave it where it's at, it's just going to be in the way. You're not going to be able to fully put the cab together. But there you go. So you can see that tab right there in that slot. So that's good. If you did have the seats, then you would just have these pieces sitting on top of them, and it would be something like that. These would constantly be moving on you, but that'd be roughly how they'd be sitting. So keep those down for now just to make things a little bit easier. That's also probably a word I shouldn't be using on this guy. Okay, so I'm going to readjust. There we go. Bring these two pieces out. You can try to just rotate them, but they're probably going to hit. You got to give them a little bit of an angle. And then you can move them the rest of the way and rotate them out. Do that for both sides. Okay. These blue pieces, get those out. And those hood pieces are trying to get in the way. There we go. So they're on a double hinge. Just get them up and out. And rotate these around. And these blue pieces, you can see this little piece here, they're going to sit over that, and can't really see it. There's a tiny little port right in here that the post for that blue piece is going to feed into. All right, so we'll keep that up, move this out, and you can manipulate this chrome piece of the sun visor as you need to. There we go. Just do whatever's easier. There you go. So you got that sitting all flush. That's one side done. Well, for that corner. Nowhere near close to done. There we go. Got it. And that sun visor kind of sort of helps lock that piece in. Kind of. It's not an amazing lock, but it is better than nothing. All right, so again, keep all that out of your way. So these silver pieces here, rotate them down. We're going to have to play them again, but you want them down like this. As you swing the arm in, you want them to go between the truck side and the shoulder. They're going to want to get in your way every chance they get, but that's where you want them. And we're going to try and prepare the arms now before swinging them in. So you also want this to be on this side, because this is where the two arms are going to tab together. So these surfaces have to be in the middle, and you want the elbow piece facing straight down once everything's all said and done. That's going to be our final goal here. So bring it in and just watch that silver piece. See what I mean? That silver piece is trying to be in the way. It's doing a very good job of it so far. There we go. Okay. This double or triple jointed blue panel, it was also helping push that silver piece in, so that was getting in my way. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this back in position because it's all out of sorts. Make sure that this double joint, which is also a little bit of a slider, make sure that's at least not pushing the bottom of the cab in. So keep it kind of flush, or at least on the outside. If it's angled inward, it's going to make your life a little more difficult because it's removing what little clearance you have. So in here, let's see. Okay, there we go. So you've got that square hole with this keyed hole. This peg is going to fit right in there, and then you've got a square tab that's going to go in here. Now you want to do it in an order. The easiest I've found it is get the square peg in first. Right? Let's see. Let me see if I can get some, there we go, some additional light. So, see that square peg going into the hole? And then we're going to, with that in place, we're going to angle the shoulder pauldron up so that key slot goes together. And this is one of the more challenging parts of this whole transformation, only because things want to keep moving on you. And it's very difficult to get things where they need to be. See, I just untabbed that square peg. So now I got to do that all over again. So I got that. Got my thumb trying to hold it in place. Nope, didn't work. It doesn't help that just the orientation of all these hinges and everything. There we go. Oh, almost. There it is. Got it. Okay. So, square peg into the tab, and then that right there. You can see the keyway is in there. Sorry for all the shaky hands here. Right. So we're going to do the same on the other side real quick. And I need to be careful because you see that bright blue? Yeah, that's a stress mark. So I need to be really careful. It's been like that for a while now. One of these days, it's going to decide to just completely go. And that's attached to this whole bit. So that's going to be annoying. Either going to have to replace it or just pretty much learn to transform it without. Which is probably just going to make my life difficult. Come on, there it is. Okay. Making sure, yep, there we go. That silver piece got pushed in again. So there we go. Silver piece out. That is in a good location. I'm going to get this tabbed in. And the reason I'm doing this panel now instead of later is because, like, yeah, you can do it later, but then you've got to flex things and you might untab some of the stuff on the inside. That's why I prefer to just do it now, be done with it. Not saying you can't do it the other way. That's just the easiest way I've found. There's that word again. All right. Can't really show you because of how cramped this is, but I'm just getting that square tab lined up and then the that keyed tab. And since I'm doing it behind a camera, I'm even just going to have to do it by feel. I can't really get a good look at it. Okay. That's it. Wow. Success. Okay. I knew I could do it, just like all the other times I did it. All right. Let me raise this back up to a working height. There you go. Right about there. Okay, so this part isn't super difficult, but it is a little stressful because now we're bending stuff. So this whole chest piece is going to go into the cab on top of the arms. And none of it's going to want to go where it needs to go. We're going to rotate these out now so they're at least kind of sort of where I need them. Again, things are going to move. So make sure the cab is still split apart. It may have got jostled around. It doesn't really matter if you have the arms tabbed into the doors right now or not. It's not going to help you. My hinges are tight for the shoulders. If I rotate the arms down, it'll be easy to get that in. But then rotating the arms back up is going to take me another 10-15 minutes of struggling and minor adjustments. I'm not doing that. So you can do that if you want. If you already took apart your shoulder joints and put some oil or did a little bit of filing to make them move a lot smoother, then it might be easier to rotate those down, but that's also going to untab your pauldrons if you go too far because of how they're attached. So I'm just telling you things you could do and warnings about it. So we're just going to rotate this all in, and you're going to rotate it at that windshield, right in front of that chrome sun visor. Like I said, it's going to be uncomfortable. This is how you know it's an alien attack transformation, because you're doing stuff like this. And you see my chest came untabbed too, so now I'm going to have to fix that, which means I'm probably going to have to fix that dashboard too, since it's tabbed into the chest. Almost. We're getting there. We're getting there. So uncomfortable. Okay. Straighten that joint out and make sure that it is locked back in place. And the dashboard is still good. Things like that might be why the dashboard, that tab, has a little bit of a stress mark for me. It probably got stressed doing that one too many times. Okay, so there you go. You can see how it's sitting. You can see you've got those corner pieces of the upper shoulder area, the part of the chest. It's sitting there in, like, just free floating, but it's by the joint for the shoulder pauldrons on both sides. You've still got that where it needs to be. Now let's go ahead and tab these arms in. They should already be really close to lined up. And at this point, we're going to try and close up the cab. So you're just going to squeeze it. You've got a tab and a slot. Other than that, everything else should line up. And then as you're doing that, you've got another post right here. That's going to go not even into a port, just into a little C-shaped cavity right behind the windshield. And then you've got this post on the door going into the port on the windshield. That's what we're looking for right this second. We'll worry about the hood shortly. So for these top pieces, you may need to just push down on this center panel until it's together, and then they'll pop back up. And for the windshield, you should be able to get the windshield, the posts between the dash and the windshield. Sometimes you got to really just move things around. They just aren't happy. And this is also the point where you also need to watch this blade and make sure that the tab slots into the arms, right? Because you want your two arms joined together at this point. So there we go. We got the upper half. I'm going to bring that sun visor down. Got the windshield tabbed in. Yep. Yep. Okay, windshield is tabbed in on both sides. We got the arms kind of where they need to be. This right one, or left one, isn't. There it is. Okay. Okay, so those are tabbed. The doors are tabbed into the side of the arms. You've got all of this closed up, and then the doors are tabbed into the back of the windshield. So that's all done. We're almost there. The legs are nothing. The legs are a G1 toy compared to the cab here, as far as simplicity goes. I'm going to leave these little wings out for now. I'm going to bring the hood down, and you want the hand sitting something like this. All right, that's why we had them folded over. The thumbs are backwards out of the way. I've got them rotated 1 or 2 clicks each, and they're also shortened. Those wrists are pushed in. All right. Now the hood, this is as low as the hood sits. It doesn't really, it's got that post and it's just sitting right on it. So you only get so much out of the hood. And we're going to bring this grill piece down. It's on a double hinge. Make sure that at the top of it, it's down all the way and that it's inside of these blue pieces. Because you want it sitting flush with the top of the hood and with the sides of these pieces. And it's going to sit pretty much flush. Sit flush at the front too, and then you'll have the ports and posts joined together from these side pieces. So get all that. And then we'll rotate these up a little bit. Actually, no. I might be able to show you better if I leave them out. So you've got a port in each arm for a square peg that's right here behind the air intake. You want that port. You want that tabbed and slotted in. There you go. Now you can bring these up. They should just snap right in. This little piece here will just go under the hood. And then you've got a little cutout right here for this little post. Nothing crazy, right? So there you go. There we have Optimus in his Gerwalk mode, ready to go, kind of. Now we're going to go ahead and bring these around on their double joints and just tuck them up in there as best as we can, right? So we got the joint sitting straight out, that's in there. We're going to slide the waist back on this slider, and you're going to lift it up. Fold the front skirt together, bring it in, and now the legs, which compared to the cab, like I said, super, super easy. Doesn't mean they actually are easy though, just, in comparison. So Oh, one thing I forgot, and I screwed up. Let's see if I can get it now. These gotta be rotated out. Oh no. I'd never even do that when I'm playing with this on the couch. Okay, there we go. Good. It's all because the camera's on. At least I can fix it now. And then you can kick these out on their sliders. There's an upper and a lower slider. You can try doing them both at once. I recommend doing them just one at a time. You'll get 2 clicks on that, 1 click on that. And the reason for that is I snapped the post right off of this one. And I had to take apart the whole cab to be able to replace it after Bombasby sent me a replacement. Very annoying. So I would just say be careful. Right. Now, we're going to be doing a few different movements here. So these skirts need to go underneath the arms. So you're just going to bring that in. Right. And now bring the legs out. Bring them out on this, because they've got their double joints each. We'll move the skirt forward, the butt flap forward, just to get it out of the way for now. And now we're gonna rotate the legs. So best way I can describe this is, you see where the screw's at? It's on the back of the skirt, the leg. You want the plain side facing up. So you're just rotating them 180, but in case you have them rotated in a weird direction because of whatever pose you had them in, this is how they should look. You've got the screw for the butt, and then the plain side of those hip joints. All right, we'll go ahead and, I'll leave it out right now. Leave it out to the side. Okay. God, that's a weird look for him. Let's go ahead and get the feet done. So first thing, we'll fold that up, and we're going to untab this, the back plate from there. All right. Let's see, try and see if I can get a better camera angle on this for you guys. Maybe not. All right, and a little more light. Okay, let's try this. See how that looks. So we'll open that up. We are going to bring this foot down on the little slider. Now you want to be careful. It's all plastic. It's probably all weak. The wheel is going to go with, so you can grab the wheel and then this bar in the back and just work it down. It's just a pair of small round thoops. Just be careful with it. This is an area that some people have had broken out of the box, and some people break it on transformation. So then you're going to pull this out. Comes out just a little bit, and you're going to rotate it. So let's see if I can rotate the leg to give you a better view of what we're doing here. There we go. That's going to be the front bumper of the truck. So you're going to rotate it a little, which will free this up. Then you're going to rotate it around more, and then you're going to slide it in. So you want the blue, so you see you got the silver square and you got the blue piece. The blue piece is the bottom. So you want that on the side of the wheel, and then you want this sitting here. Then you're going to just rotate this up. We already split it open. And that's it. Rotate it around, and there is your front wheel. Make sure you pushed it in if you didn't already. I did. Okay, so that's good for now. We're going to leave it. Now we're going to fold this out. You're going to untab this. There is a port here and a post here on the silver part. Here we go. I can show you. Good. Right there. Right. And then I've already got the knee out. This double joint, you've got it straight out. That's where you want it. If for whatever reason you don't get it straight out, then we're going to flip this up, and you're going to untab this because it's got a post here and a port. It should be this port right here that it uses for that post. Okay. get this all straightened out, and just rotate this around. And tab it all in. You've got 2 ports for posts for ports on the underside of it. You just line it up. Make sure that all these joints are straight. You've got another, there you go. You've got a 3rd post right here. So you got 3 total that you're lining up. And then this, just flip it around and flip it in, right? This, leave out. You'll bring this up a little bit, and you want to rotate this. Actually, it's already rotated the way I want it. Let me see here. Yep, okay. Point is, you want the wheels in line with the fuel tanks and, of course, the front wheel. So that is pretty much how we want it. Keep this piece roughly out at 90 degrees. We'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to leave it back. I'm just going to let it stay over there, fold it up. Let's go ahead and get this leg done. And again, so we'll untab this. See, it's got that square port for that. Bring that out. Again, wheel and that little bar behind it, just slide it down. Slide that out. Come on, there we go. Rotate and push in. So again, you can see how that's sitting. Split this open. So the foot may be die cast, but this connection is plastic, so just be careful. That's why I grabbed the big part of the foot and the little part as I open it. I don't want to give that thing any reason to break. Knock on wood. It's probably going to do it one day, though. All right. There we go. So, again, this silver... Oh, they're rotating and flipping and flopping. This piece... You're going to flip up. I missed something over here. Haha. Yep. Sorry. It's all because the camera's on. This piece, just rotate it. It should already be out because that screw is a slider. But you just want to rotate it. And I am going to have to, yeah, there we go. For mine, it really only rotates one way. But you rotate it around, you push it in, and then you can see those ports went right into those slots on the foot. All right. And then this, you can fold down. So relax that double joint, fold it in, and there's a tab and slot connection. There's the slot. Let's see. Yep, there's the slot right by my thumbnail. And how did that manage to get locked right there? Okay, there we go. Cool. So there we go. So now that leg's done for now. And let's get back over here and make sure I don't make those same mistakes twice. So we're going to untab and here, we're going to untap that, get it out of the way, open that up, untab this, swing it out, swing that down if you didn't already. There you go. You can see the 3 ports or posts that are going to be tabbed in. Do that. 1, 2, and 3. Fold that over and in. Leave this piece down. Make sure that's up. Go ahead and rotate it and bring that around. There we go. Then push it in and fold this down and tab that in. Fold that over. Okay. As much of a mess as this is right now, the legs are just about done. So it's time. I'm going to have to adjust this, but let me show you what's next. Next, we're going to get this part down and we're going to get the head in. Okay. So show you real quick. He's got a square port on each side of his head. You're also going to have to, you can just push on his head and hold the panel because he's got the trailer hitch on the bottom of his head. So you can just push it in. There you go. His head's on a ball joint, so his head's nice and secure, but the panel is, you know, you see how thin it is around that. So that's why I say, if you push up on the head, but hold the panel, just so you don't snap it off or bend it or anything. Just be careful. And when I bring that in, it's going to be this square tab that's going to go into those ports. Now his head's on a ball joint. It can be cocked off to one side or the other, forward or back. So we're going to adjust it as we need to get that lined up. All right. Now before we go further, because this is a right mess, let's fix this. So the skirts have got to go back in place. They're out. Okay, so skirts are in. We're going to bring these legs back. On this upper joint, I'm going to just bring them back. And you know what? Before I do that, let me rotate. So we need to rotate the thighs at the cut joint. I'm just going to rotate them around so that this part of the knee is facing inward. Because again, we've got a slot there, and the other kneecap has a tab. So the knees are going to tab together just like the arms did. There we go. So, oh, this one was rotated. So again, that upper joint, bring it in. And you can see how it's going to be sitting. When it's all said and done, it kind of goes into that cavity. Part of the thigh does. But now we need to get the head taken care of. So the silver pieces here that I said leave out at 90 degrees, they need to go underneath the trailer hitch panel. So we need to get the square ports in. I moved the head forward a little, and come on. There we go. And once you get the head lined up and tabbed in, you should also be able to get the knees lined up and tabbed in. And then fold these in. Let's see. So you want to do this one first because it's got that tab. Just fold it in all the way so that it tabs into the frame. And then you do the other one so it tabs into the frame and tabs into the other chrome piece at the same time. Okay, so there's how your back is looking. You can see Prime's mouth. You can see that the trailer hitch is above it. And let me fix these front skirts again. So he doesn't normally fight me this much, but again, doing it on camera, so doing it in a weird position. So for these thigh pieces, fold that down, and then we're going to fold them forward. So you've got a slot and a tab right here on both thighs, and we want to get that tabbed in. So pull out on the cab just a little bit. You don't want to undo all the work you've already done. There it is. Okay. So I'll leave that up there, leave those there. So we've got that slotted, tabbed. Come to the other side, got that slotted and tabbed. And looking at it, you can see we've got a bit of a bow going on. Okay, that's just the hip not quite sitting where it needs to. But there's nothing in the way, so it'll be okay. We'll take care of that as we're attaching everything else. These knee joints, when I transform them to bot mode, I never bother to straighten those out. It just works for posability. So I leave them in their transformation joint angle at all times. But if you, for some reason, had those straightened out, you would need to crunch them up roughly how they are now in order to get everything to go together. So that's entirely up to you based on how you pose them in robot mode. Leaving the knees like that, it works for me. So that's how I've got it. It just makes life a little bit easier on me when I go to transform them as well, because it's one less thing to worry about. And as you can see, we have plenty to worry about. Okay, so now we're going to bring these around. So you've got a port here, a post and a port. Then you've got a tab right here at my thumb. That's going to go into this slot. And then you've got this ridge, this blue line on the inner edge of the fender. That's going to hook underneath this. And then, finally, you have this port for this post. And this post is going to go underneath this to pop up from behind. Right? So, got a lot we're looking for. Oh, and this is going to go, let me see if I can flip this. It's going to go right in here where my thumb's at, between the die-cast foot and that blue hinge. And then this panel, with the flames on it, is going to go over these red pieces, and you see it should just sit right there. You just got to find that square tab and slot. There it is. Got it. Let me do the same over here. Just so I can at least show you that much. It may come untabbed when I go to get the rest, but there you go. So you see that's the bottom. And you see it's all, the fuel tank has a notch cut out for that part of the cab too. So why is the cab splitting here? Oh, this piece isn't quite right. There we go. That's a little better. All right, so now as I'm bringing it in, I'm going to fold this thigh piece out and get it hooked underneath, right between the die cast and that blue hinge, like I showed you. There we go. Yep, right in there. Now, let me get the other side ready, because as you can see, the cab is tilted. So let me get this piece good. There we go. This is going to sit in the cavity. We'll come back to that later. It's going to be in your way for now. All right. Let me see what I got here. It's going to be at this joint, why it's sitting like that. At the hip, the waist. All right, it just needs a little bit. So we're going to get all this plugged in. So again, you've got that tab into that slot. Trying to get it on this side too. Trying to see if I can do them at the same time. You may be able to do them at the same time, you may not. Also brings to question whether or not it's even a good idea to try. These feet, just try and keep them in the center somewhere. They may want to get in your way. Everything is going to get in your way, let's be honest. It's just what it's going to do. So then you hook the fender underneath the hood and then push in on the grill. There you go. Come on, there it is. Okay, again, hook the fender. Oh, I got some things in some places that they don't need to be. There we go. Okay. Let's see if that was it. Not quite. This fender feels like something is solidly in the way, so that's what I'm fighting right this second. There we go. Got it under there, push in on the grill to clear the fender. So we got those tabbed in, you got the fenders under the hood, and you've got all this tabbed in. Last thing is this locking piece. So you just flip it down, lock it into the other foot, and then flip this around, and that. Bring these forward, and that is it. Okay, so here's your side, your top, your bottom. Let's see. All right, the bumper came undone apparently, and all the shifting around. There we go. Okay, good. Done and done. Let's transform again, going back to robot mode, which is going to be faster. Bring those out. And yeah, okay, now the bumper untabbed again, but it's fine. It can be untabbed. And again, we're going to start right here, butt flap. Get that locking piece up. It may want to fight. You may need to squeeze the feet together or move them around a little. There it is. Got it. Fold that tab all the way back into the foot, so you should barely be able to see it. And I'm going to put my finger back here on the hip, a nice solid strong point, and I'm going to squeeze on the chrome just a little bit, just enough to get these posts out of the front. And then you just peel it apart, and it should be really easy to peel it apart. It pretty much wants to come apart. The only thing that's going to fight you are these thigh pieces. Just be careful of them. You don't want to break them or have them break something else, because they don't have a lot of movement right now. So there's that. Untab the bumper and split the legs. Let the head come down or up, whichever way you got it facing. And we're going to go ahead and untab the cab from the thighs. I don't normally need a spudger on this, so that must be part of, there we go, part of why it wasn't sitting right. Normally it sits straight, the frame does, in relation to the cab, so I don't know why it was sitting that way this time. There's going to be something just ever so slightly out of place. It is what it is. We're past it. So bring your legs out, spread them. We're going to go ahead and rotate the thigh so that this part of the knee is on that with the little gold medallion. And you can go ahead and bring your shoulder pieces up. We're done with those for now. All right, one leg at a time here. So fold that down, unfold that. Let's get the knee up, get that double hinge straight up and down. We'll pull out this slider piece, rotate it around. Again, for me, it only really goes one way, and you'll want to, it's kind of got a little slot, not per se, not, so it's got this tab that my thumb's on, and it's just going to go up and hit that piece, and then you'll push it down, and yeah, that's it. It just kind of barely sits in there, like just a corner sits there. So it barely does anything. Right, so we got that slid down, we got the knee where we want it. All right, so we're going to rotate the wheels, because the wheels are in the end going to be behind the shin. And we're going to get this foot next. So bring that down, bring this piece back up over above the front fender, split the fender from the headlight. There you go. And just rotate it backwards. You can go ahead and put the fuel tank. You've got a port there for this post. Fuel tank right against the wheels, and you can go ahead and get this piece tabbed in. And let's see, rotate this around. Here is the port, the post. That's going to tab into this. You have the fuel tank sitting where it needs to. Then you have that, and it's going to be flush. Right here and right here is sitting flush. That's how you'll know you've got it right. Fold this panel up, and you can see right here. I know it's hard to tell with the lighting, but there's that. This, go ahead and fold the other direction, not the way that I just now did it. Should have done that first. There you go. Okay. So again, that port came undone. There's that. That's there. This piece is where it needs to be. Go ahead and get the shin tabbed in, and then you've got this post and port that's right here. Give it a little push so that the calf is smooth. Fold that over. Rotate. Gonna slide that down, and then again, we're going to rotate both of these at the same time, and then slide it in. And then slide that whole thing up. There we go. And then you'll bring this down, square tab into the port to lock it, bring that up, fold the die-cast foot back into one piece, and that is how you want the bottom of the foot looking. So you've got the tire nestled inside of this, you've got this fully pushed forward, you got the tire locked in place, and then you've got everything here on the shin and the calf locked up. So that's one leg done. Second leg, exactly the same. Oh, that's new. That's loose. Exactly the same. So I'm going to go just a hair faster. like that. Extend. 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 Good, there it is. Okay. Bring this around, down, bring that over. Rotate. Tab the shin in. I'll keep that out for a moment. Bring this painted blue piece up and over. Untab the fender. Come on, rotate it all around. Bring it in. Tab it. Nope, before I do that, let me fold that over first. Then tab it. Fold that over. Get the shin locked in. There we go. Bring that up. Lock it. Rotate. Slide up. Slide out. Rotate all around. Slide in. Rotate. Rotate. There's the other foot. There's the other leg. And that makes both feet done. Now, I'm going to rotate here so that, okay, well, apparently the thigh protector wants to be in the way. There we go. There we go. So now, for robot mode, you've got those 3 screws there. Right, that's how you want that. Then you'll bring them downward. Then you'll bring that back so that it is looking like that. Doesn't really matter, but you can go ahead and crunch up the legs now if you wish. And I'll just leave those crotch pieces alone for the moment because it's not going to make any difference. All right, make sure the head is out of the way. Best it can be anyway. Shoulder pieces, flip those up and out. Flip them up and out. You're going to come up here to the grill. You're going to just pull it slightly so those 2 ports come untabbed. You're going to get this on the side of the hood flipped over. You don't have to do that right now, but I am going to. You're going to untab the hood from the arms and let all that come up. And I'll go ahead and fold this chrome piece in now just so I don't worry about it later. There you go. Now we're going to untab the doors from the arms on both sides. Okay. And now we're disassembling the cab. So flip up that sun visor. You want to untab the windshield from the doors on both sides. So I'm pulling on this whole armature, but I've got a grip of the entire assembly, the hinge and everything, so I'm not just pulling a panel that can rip off. I'm pulling the armature when I do that. Separate the cab. These tabs, they kind of pop out a little, so you can either try pushing on those or just otherwise, we want to split the cab. Just got to be careful about it. As always, be careful. Let's see here. There's so many different things that I'm trying to watch for and pay attention to. There we go. Got one. push in on the center panel while I support this outer panel. Oh, don't you tab back in. Don't you dare. There we go. Got it. Ha, I win. Okay. So, now we're going to unfold that whole chest piece. So much easier going in this direction, isn't it? Now we're going to untab the dashboard from the chest. So I just grab my thumb on both sides here, and I just bring it down. Then I'm going to slide the chest out. There we go. And now I can move the chest and make sure that dashboard is all the way down. If it's not, it is. And I'm going to rotate the chest back out. Okay? We're getting there. We're making good progress. We're making good time going the other direction. So now these shoulder pieces in here with the tab and that keyway, you just pop them down. Pop them down and toward the center. And pretty much everything wants to come apart in the chest area. Here we go. Okay, we got that. Now we're going to untab that side panel from the door. And we're going to basically rotate it all out. So you've got this slider hinge. You may need to pull it down and disengage it so you have a gap there. And then you should be able to rotate it all out as long as you've got everything inside disconnected. It's resisting me, so something is holding it up. Okay, I think it's just the arm hitting the door. Yep, that's all it was. Okay, good. If you feel resistance, always check, regardless of what manufacturer of transformer it is, whether it be third party or Hasbro or what. All right, and on this side too, disconnect that blue panel. There it is. And slide. Did I just tap that chest back together? I did. Okay, well, it's easier now because it's empty. There we go. There, cool, got it. Okay. Again, arm out. Get everything out of the cab. We want the cab as empty as can be right now. Now those gray pieces, fold up, fold up. We're going to disconnect. We're going to fold these blue pieces in, and I'll show you where those go in just a second. Let's disconnect the red pieces. You want to fold them back in. And we're going to leave it right there for a second. There's going to be one thing with the exhaust we've got to do in a second before we can fully lock these in place. But so there's that, and then again that blue triangle piece on the other side, bring that in. Cool. All right, let's get the exhaust now before we forget. Before I forget. Add crunch, bring that back down if it disengaged itself, which it did. Rubber piece is in the way. Okay. So you want to bring the smokestacks in, and you want to angle these pieces downward. So bring them in. 2 clicks at the top, 1 click at the bottom. Should not require a lot of force. And then for these pieces, angle them downward. And again, should not require a lot of force. I'm being gentle with them though, because I've broken them once before. There we go. It's just locked by a tab that has like a little raised lip. It's almost a thoop. But that lip is surprisingly effective. So once you have the exhaust looking like that, and you've got them pushed in, now we can continue with the assembly. Because if you didn't these red pieces, you see this little tab sticking out here? It's going to end up locking into this. So if you have these out in truck mode, it's going to be a pain to get it to get it locked into robot mode. You're going to have to disassemble things. So bring those red pieces up. Okay, something like that. And now you see these two holes in the back panel? That's where those posts for the blue pieces are going to go. Now, it's not going to be perfect. They're probably going to move on you, but that is where they're supposed to sit. And then the sun visor pieces on those red panels, they will sit kind of up in those like this. This is a good example. The other one's fighting me right now, but that's a good example. You've got the chrome piece under the blue triangle, and this is all folded back. Now, let me make this side do the same thing because it wants to be special. There it is. Okay. Good. We got it. Now, we're in the home stretch. So we want this tab going into this slot here. And you got to do them both at the same time. They are going to be stiff. And it's just going to be go slow, go careful, and be careful where you put your pressure. And I wish this chest would stay out of the way so I could actually show you properly what I'm doing. You know what? You know what? Chest won't stay out of my way. There we go. Flip you upside down. How's about that? There's one. There's two. Okay, so we got those doors tabbed into the waist. Now I'm going to readjust these blue pieces so they're where they need to be. Yes, the cab is still split open right now. We're going to fix that in just a second. So before we go any further, I want to take this dashboard and slide it up so that it's out of the way. There's that phrase again, out of the way. It's not out of the way, but here. One thing, chest. Slide the chest. Sorry, it is. Okay. God, that's scary. Whew. So I slid the chest down, so now the gold piece lines up with the gold. Now I'm going to slide the dashboard back up on its slider. If it will cooperate, please, thank you. And the point of sliding the dashboard back up is so the steering wheel is out of the way. Okay. So you slide it back up. It does have a slot and a tab it can tab into. So let's see if you can get that lined up and tabbed in. There we go. Okay. Right in there. See if see how that looks? Alrighty. Whew. Hey, we're almost there. Okay, so now we're going to fold this chest up. So you want the hood laying flat because you have this post going into the port on the back of the chest. Tab that in. Good. And now you've got right here, you got a tab on both sides of the chest for the port that's right here in the corner of the blue part of the fender, the cowling, and you just get that rotated and plugged in. Don't know why it's fighting right now. I think those cowling pieces are just in the wrong place. There they go. They were in the wrong place. Okay. So this is what we got right now. So the hood is tabbed into the back of the chest. These cowl pieces are tabbed right here into the side of the chest. And then we got the dash out of the way. It's tabbed into the chest. The chest is locked in place, or at least really close to being locked. So now we're going to fold this up. So this sun visor is going to go between the hood and the chrome grille when you fold all this up. Right? And as you fold it all up, we're going to get it tabbed in. Now you want to fold it all up first. And then we're also going to need to close the chest in order to tab everything in. Okay, there it was. Everything was where it needed to be. It was just trying to cram all that into the chest cavity. It was hitting on the doors. That's what it was. It's cool. We got it. So, the chest is done. You can see. Tabbed in, slotted in. May not be 100% flawless, but that's fine. We're about to fix a good bit of that. So on the back here, make sure these blue pieces are in line, right? And then tab the head in. And the head is going to help lock a lot of this in. So you've got, first of all, flip that up if you didn't already, the trailer hitch. Then you've got your tabs and slots, and then your posts and ports. And just get it all lined up, tabbed in, squoze in, all that good stuff. All right, there we go. We got his head. Now we're going to bring these collar pieces back. We're going to rotate these pieces up, and you can see a slot and a tab. So go ahead and get those tabbed in. And then these, well, hang on, let me get the other one and then I'll show you. Rotate up, around. Good. Okay, and now for the silver pieces here. So the front of it is just going to hook over this, and the back of it, this little tab, is going to go into this slot in the cowl. So you may need to move this piece in or out to make that work. There you go. You got it into that cowl piece, and then you've got that. All right. We are in the home stretch. Rotate his arms around. I'm going to, you don't have to. It all depends on where your arms are at the moment. So what we want to do is these double hinges, rotate them all the way back around so that they lock in on this blue part. Hey, there we go. Lock in on this blue part instead of the part that it's already locked in on. So just right there. And then lift up on the shoulder a bit, fold the exhaust in, and that's going to help lock that in place. Same thing. Just be careful with your movements. It's easy to untab everything else while you're doing this. You see this collar keeps coming untabbed. Fold that exhaust in, and then you can rotate your arm, your shoulder. We are done. You can set up the fingers however you want. Adjust his feet because that's all weird now. Bring his crotch piece out. You can bring these up, and butt flap is already where it needs to be. Hang on. There we go. Bring these over to cover up all the gaps. If you did do the seats, fold those down if you didn't already. Like I said, I did not do them just because I knew I was going right back into bot mode. I'm going to fold everything so that it's set up the way that I want it. Pauldrons a little bit in the front. Okay. Well, there you go. That has been an adventure to transform back and forth. Wow. There you go. If you are still there with me, thank you for watching. I hope this video helped, and thank you for watching. Until next time.